welcome back to my channel. This is Prepping by Faith. And today I just wanted to talk to you guys about something. I'm really hoping that this will reach those who have not started preparing yet. I know I never ask you guys to do this, but if you could please share this video out today, I would greatly appreciate it. So I'm titling this Open Your Eyes. And the reason I am titling this video this is because I want you guys, those of you who have not started noticing the need to prepare, to begin to wake up. And if you guys don't want to call yourself a prepper, a prepared person, I don't care what you call yourself because you think that that has some sort of negative connotation with it. But at the end of the day, what I want you to call yourself is a survivor. I don't want you guys to, be another casualty, be another victim, be another statistic. So at the end of the day, call yourself a survivor. I think that it is so important that we are prepared for things like this huge snowstorm, that this nasty weather event that is making its way across the vast majority of the United States. Here in my area of Colorado, we are seeing temperatures, of minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And, I'm going to give you an example of a situation that happened just in my own family. I have a family member that notified me this morning that he had lost his power. Now I have been conversating with this person. I have been trying to get them prepared for these sorts of things. We need to understand how to do we need to understand how to do the basics. It's so important that you know how to do these things, that you know how to take care of your families. We talk a lot in the prepping community about being your own first responder, and there's a reason for that. You have to be your own first responder, because if you're just sitting there waiting for them to flick that power switch back on and you don't know what to do, you could perish. You really could perish. And when you're talking about temperatures that are this cold, it is a very real possibility of being a victim in that circumstance, and I don't want to see that happen with people. So having this conversation with him this morning, I was talking to him about, he has a natural gas fireplace just like I do, the importance of taking off that grate, looking in there, seeing how you can add the batteries in there to flick that switch to get that thing powered back up. He gets in there and the control mechanism isn't even connected properly. It's loose where, he's in a newer home and they never installed it properly. And this is why it's so important that you go through these things, that you check what you have, that you know that you have the batteries, that things are connected properly, how to power up your gas fireplace in an emergency situation. I know there's a lot of you out there that have wood burning fireplaces, and that's wonderful as well. But knowing how to do these things, having your carbon monoxide detector available so that when you're running that, if you have a gas that is coming in that needs to be taken care of, that is going to cause you to perish as well. You need to know how to do these things. Just having the conversation with him about the basics of getting towels rolled up and put underneath of his doors for drafts, pulling his drapes so that cold airflow is not coming in, having a trickle in his faucets in different areas of his home so that water is still moving through those pipes and that those pipes do not burst. These are the things that we have to know how to take care of and how to respond in those situations. Obviously, if that temperature drops too far, you're going to want to know how to turn off that water and get that water completely. You would leave those valves open to completely drain out of your pipes so that you don't have burst pipes in that situation. That's just going to complicate an even, bigger issue. Making sure that you have water stocked up, the drinkable potable water on hand for emergency situations, having things on hand to boil that water, whether it is a camp stove with some propane or it is you've got a natural gas burning stovetop and you know how to light that, you know how to handle that situation. There are so many other options as well to boil water. There's stuff called jet boil and all kinds of things that you can purchase. But being aware of these things, having something as basic as a thermos, there are so many people that don't have that. Making sure you have your layers to properly dress inside your home should those temperatures drop. And especially if you have, little ones or newborn babies, or you have elderly, you have to be able to keep warm. So having things like your long underwear, your gloves, your wool socks, your hats, your heavy coats, having your sleeping bags with those certain temperatures, being able to understand how to erect a tent in your home so that you can create that micro environment to stay warm in. All of that body heat concentrated in a smaller area is going to be able to keep you warm longer. These are the things that, you guys need to know the basics of. You need to have your flashlights, whether they are solar or battery operated with plenty of batteries for them, your candles, your matches, your lighters. All these things are things that we need to have on hand, and we need to know where they are and how to access them. Having the basics for emergency situations in your vehicles as well. We need to have things in there like our, an extra blanket and, hand warmers, and obviously things like I said, your gloves, your hats, all those sorts of things. Having an emergency first aid kit in there. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but having the basics, having a way, if you have some flares that you can keep in there, or some sort of, item to catch somebody's attention should you break down on the side of the road. Flashlights, all these types of things, extra, a little bit of water or something. They have kits where you can buy these things, guys. It doesn't cost that much and keep in your car. But these are things that we need to be thinking about, thinking about your vehicle maintenance as well, making sure you keep up with your oil changes. Yes, but how old are your tires? Understanding that as those get bald, you need to replace them. How old is your car battery? Your car is not going to start if your battery is aging and you get into these really cold temperatures like this. Making sure that you keep up with things like that, keeping your antifreeze topped off, and your windshield washer fluid, having de-icer in your car, and car scrapers, windshield wiper scrapers. All those sorts of things are so important that we stay on top of, and these are things that are going to help keep you prepared so that you are not a victim in these situations. We need to understand that right now winter has just officially kicked off on December 21st, and if we're already seeing signs that it is going to be a really difficult winter with these horrible low temperatures, with this wind chill factor that is taking it down to where if you go outside for less than 5 minutes and your skin is exposed, you could experience frostbite. This is important, guys, that we take this as a learning time and we see where we have our holes. Even those of us who are prepared, understanding where we have holes still, where we can still improve our preparedness, where we can up our game. It's important that we get our eyes open to these things now, because we're at the beginning of winter. This is just the start. And if this is the start, it is not a very good sign. It's a harbinger of sorts of what is to come. So staying prepared for that. Understanding that if you are preparing, you are taking the matter into your own hands. You are responsible for your family and your situation. It is so important, guys, to just pay attention to know the very basics. If you don't want to get off into, EMPs or, nuclear disasters or all of that, it is it's a gradual phase as you get into preparedness. You want to start off where you feel comfortable starting off, but at a minimum, being prepared for significant weather events, whether it is something like this winter blizzard conditions, or, it is something like hurricanes or tornadoes or wildfires or whatever it is, or it is a job loss. You guys, inflation is going to wait for no one. That's another thing. This economic situation is not going to get better overnight. In fact, it is looking like it is going to continually, steadily get worse into this next year. So being prepared for that. What does that look like? I'll give an example just here. We were told in our state that our natural gas prices were going to go up by 54%. Well, when I got that bill this last month, it did not go up by 54%, guys. It went up by over 100%. And I know I'm not the only one that is experiencing this. So we have to have a hedge of protection. We have to have the funds to be able to handle this. And this is a situation where if you are seeing these things coming up, if you are preparing your families, if you knew this stuff was coming, it's going to help you further stretch your budget so that you have the funds available to handle these types of of events. That is what being prepared is all about. It is understanding that you have a nest egg, that you have extra food and things that your family is going to need put up in case of a job loss, that you're not sitting there worried about, can I afford to put food on the table this month? It is so important that you open your eyes to what is happening around you, that you get an understanding that this stuff is not slowing down. It is going to get worse, and you need to be prepared for it. So I just wanted to bring this to you guys' attention. I think it's so important that we all recognize where we have shortcomings, and that we are able to talk to family members, distant family members, close family members, different ones, friends that are not preparing, that we talk about these things, and that hopefully as they see this storm coming across, this is a perfect opportunity for them to open their eyes to why it is that they need to start getting prepared, especially for something like these basics. So if you guys have enjoyed this video today, please give me a like, share, and subscribe, and remember to pray, prep, and put God first. God bless.